Hello and welcome to this very special episode of the Upland Sasquatch Outdoors. Today, as you can see, it's not bird season. It's during the summertime. We're on location here at Bear Lake in Idaho, and we're having a bit of a family reunion, if you would. Each family was responsible for a meal, and I decided, being the pheasant hunting uncle, I'd bring some pheasant. So I did. Pheasant hunting is a lot of fun. The sound of a cackling rooster, the dogs locking up on point, that heartbeat you get right before the shot. It's excitement I really don't find anywhere else, and that's what keeps me coming back season after season. But really, that's only half of it. The other half starts after the hunt. When you bring those birds home, cleaning them, preparing them, and putting that wild game on the table for your family, that's where it comes full circle for me. There's a deep sense of respect that comes with turning your own harvest into a meal, and it reminds you that the hunt isn't just about the chase. It's about the connection, gratitude, and making the most of what the land provides. That's what makes it worthwhile. One thing that really makes me happy about hunting is being able to come home with food when you're done, and making that food taste good is really important to me. Just makes me feel like the animal didn't waste its life, so it's going to be consumed. Trouble is sometimes when you have kids, they're a bit picky, and if you don't do it just right, they won't eat it. So I have come up with a solution to that, and I have come up with a recipe that I think works really well. We call it pizza bird. It's kind of a little bit of trickery with some good taste mixed in. So follow us along. We're gonna show you how to make it. What kid just doesn't like pizza? If you find one, let me know, because I haven't met them. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to trick the kids into thinking they're eating pizza. Now, the first thing I like to do with any pheasant recipe is I like to give the birds a bath a little bit. I soak it in cold water for a few hours. What that does is it draws out the blood and any particulates that you don't get when you have store-bought meat, and it leaves the meat cleaner and milder. It's a simple step that makes a big difference when you go to cook it. The next step I like to do with any pheasant dish is I like to give it a nice beating. Here you see me doing that with an improvised kitchen tool. And the reason I do that is because it tenderizes the meat. Pheasants are, as a wild bird, they get a lot of exercise, so their muscles are a lot stronger than your typical store-bought chicken. So for the uninitiated, that can be off-putting. So to make it tender, you kind of beat it up a little bit and separate those fibers a little bit, and that makes it nice and tender. The base of this recipe is Steve Rinella's turkey schnitzel from the Meat Eater show. It's simple, quick, and works perfectly with pheasant. I start with an egg bath, just a couple of eggs whisked together with a splash of milk or water. That's the glue that helps the breading stick. As for the breading, I usually use a gluten-free Italian breadcrumbs bought straight from the store, but today, with what I had available, I had to go with a corn-based gluten-free blend with Italian seasonings. It gives the meat a nice flavor without overpowering it. The best thing about this is how easily this recipe is to adapt. Gluten-free, dairy-free, low sodium, whatever you need, it still turns out great. The next thing you want to do is throw those breasts into a frying pan with a little bit of oil, and you want to cook that breading till it's nice and golden brown like this. You don't necessarily need to cook the bird all the way through. That's going to take place a little bit later, but for now, the golden brown is just fine. And that's really what gives this pizza bird its crust. It's not made out of bread, but birds. Normally for this part I like to use an actual pizza sauce, but the tiny little grocery store I had access to in Bear Lake didn't have it. So what I did is I made a bed of marinara sauce and poured a little bit of marinara sauce over the pheasant, and I drizzled it with cheese. And you can really start to see this dish take its shape and really start to sell the appearance of a pizza. And it really goes a lot further when I add the next thing, which is a bunch of pepperoni. The kids really love that. They really think that they're biting into a slice of pizza that's crust is made out of chicken. And they were all surprised when I told them it wasn't chicken. The next thing you want to do is pop it into the oven at 400 degrees preheated, and let it cook for 20 minutes. And while that's baking, we like to get a little bit of water boiling for some spaghetti. For the adults in the room, they like to call it a pheasant parmesan, so we put it on a nice little bed of spaghetti. But really, you can do any kind of noodles if you want. We just like the spaghetti. We go with gluten-free because we have several members of our family who are gluten intolerant or have straight up silly ecstasies. So we try to make the best we can for them so they can enjoy it as well. And now we peek inside the oven and we see that it's really starting to take shape here. You can see that it really does look like it came out of a pizza parlor, and the kids absolutely love it. And then you serve it up with a little bit of green stuff on the plate for good measure and to be responsible adults, and it's dinner time. Now, one thing you want to do when you serve wild birds to the uninitiated is to tell them to chew lightly, because every once in a while you'll find a BB. And it's good to let them know so they don't chomp down and break a tooth. And you know, like I said before, one of my favorite parts of hunting isn't just about the chase. It's taking what I've harvested in the wild and turning it into something that tastes good. There's something very satisfying about cooking a meal that started in the field. You remember every part of it. The birds, the dogs, the weather that day, and it all ends up there right on your plate. For me, that's what this lifestyle is really about. It's about connection to the land, to the hunt, and to the people that you share it with. Anybody can get out there and shoot a limit, but making food that tastes great out of that limit, that's how you get everyone around the table excited about it. And it turns the hunt into something bigger than just the harvest. And honestly, if I could put a meal down and kids go back for seconds, that's how I know I did my job right. Because that means the story of the hunt doesn't end in the field, and it carries on throughout the meal, throughout the family, and through the memories we make together. And that's really what makes it worth it to me. So now it's your turn. Go give this a try. These kids love it, and I'm sure you're going to love it too. And you won't regret trying it out. I promise you that. I do thank you for following along with us this far. This isn't my normal fare, so it's a bit of a risk for me, but I feel like I have a lot to offer when it comes to culinary delights of the field. So if you like what you saw here, let me know in the comments so I can know to make them more in the future. I've got lots of recipes I can share, and I'm happy to do so. Otherwise, just do the normal thing. Give us a like and a subscribe, and share the video to someone who you think can use it, and we'll see you on the next one.